Dímelo, mi gente, what's going on? We are your besties for all things God Friended Me right here on the After Show. And tonight, we're discussing episode 12, BFF of God Friended Me. Stay right here.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, let the buzz begin right here. Hey, y'all.
Hey, friends.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, friends.
What's going on, guys? We are right here for the God Friended Me After Show. I'm so excited about tonight's episode, BFF. And tonight we'll be discussing the big C word, finding love again, even if it looks different, and the God account strikes again. And of course, our special segments, the good news and God speaks. So, ladies, I have to introduce my ladies, my BFFs right here on the panel. Of course, we got the girl with the good news, Rochelle's in the house.
Hey, friend, hey.
And you know, Mina always keeping us with the fireworks of the emotions in here, keeping us leveled. What's going on?
I'm a Cancer. I cry a lot.
I mean, we're emotional here. And shout outs to our lead host who's usually here holding it down, our sister Jamie. We love her so much.
Love you.
And guys, as you know, I'm your favorite Afro-Latina, Franceli. I'm here. So guys, tell me, what did you think about tonight's episode, BFF? Overall, thoughts?
Season 2 is just giving it to us. This is real emotions, real problems, real issues, and it's giving us real discussions. So I was here for it.
Okay, I liked it, but I just watched the Holocaust episode from last week.
I know, right?
Before watching it.
Oh, right before this.
And that one was so intense.
So intense.
It was nice to have an episode that wasn't as intense, but if I had to compare the two,
Right.
I feel like no episode is going to be as great as the one that happened last week.
I mean, last week they
Yeah.
hit us with a 1-2 punch. So I really, like you said, I appreciate the fact that, I mean, again, we had a wedding this episode. We wanted some lightheartedness. I needed a break from all the crying I did last week. So overall, I really loved love. That this, God is love. And so I'm so happy that we got to experience love in this way.
Yeah.
But love can be hard. And there was a moment in tonight's episode where, Pastor Mr. Finer was talking to his daughter about whatever you're praying about, it's going to be okay. But we all know from last week that Allie's been praying about some hard stuff. So let's get into it. Yeah. The big C word.
Yeah.
Cancer has been running in this family for a few generations. Obviously, her mom had breast cancer, and now Allie finds out on this episode that she does indeed. What did we think of? Did we expect this news?
I think last week episode definitely prepared us for either way, from her coming out the hospital, from that level that we seen. She was in radiology, so we knew that something was going on. And 2 + 2, her mother passed away from, she didn't pass away from cancer, but her mother did have cancer, so we knew that news. So we were a little prepared for it. It was just definitely unfortunate hearing, her status, especially her being so young and beautiful, and she is one of our favorites,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is just kind of like a scare right now. I mean, if it was any other kind of cancer, if it was like ovarian cancer or something else, I think it would have been a little bit more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I think breast cancer is definitely something you can overcome, especially if you catch it early. And in her case, they were saying that she had ductal carcinoma in her left breast. And after looking it up, it is a common type of breast cancer. It starts in the cells that line the milk ducts, and that's what carries breast milk to the nipple. And there's 2 types. There's the invasive type, and there's one that's not as invasive. And people were asking online, is it non-invasive or, is it dangerous? And it says that ductal carcinoma is called non-invasive because it hasn't spread beyond the milk duct into any normal surrounding breast tissue. So it's not life-threatening, but if you have it, it can increase the risk of developing an invasive breast cancer later on. So that's why I feel like this is something that, there is a lot of hope for.
Right.
And I think just the fact that Miles was like, I'm here for you, I'm by your side, here to help you through it. And, Javicia's character responds, you have to put love first. And he's like, I know, I am. I thought that was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
Because love is not just romantic love. Love, it can be familial love. It could be sibling
family,
love. And that's sometimes the strongest form of love at times.
I really love how tonight's episode really brought out this side of Miles that we've always known. We've always known he's someone who triumphs for love, fights for love, really cares about his friends, really cares about Cara. But to really see him step up as a big brother in this way, just to him recall the memories of like, you know, she didn't remember how hard mom had it, but I do. And so it's like he came in like, now it's my job to protect her. And I really love that. And again, that's the thing about the C word. Like, no matter what, it's scary. But like she said, what does that mean? And then it gives time to ask questions and the doctor can really break it down to you. And thank you, Mina, again, for like giving us a breakdown. Because again, once you get all the information, like you said, if you catch it early enough, you're able to beat this thing. And there's so many people, shout outs to all the breast cancer survivors out there who like have triumphed over the thing and then can be champions for other people. So I believe and have faith that this is going to be a really great testimony for Allie, and maybe she'll be able to preach about it, right? Because who knows, she'll be able to give a really great testimony. So I'm that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah. But Rochelle, can you tell the people what they can look forward to every week with us right here?
Now listen. We are so appreciative of you guys for definitely checking in, tuning in, talking to us. We really are. Like, we're grateful because we're doing everything that we love, and we appreciate you guys for interacting with us. So please, if you are listening on iTunes, please go ahead and give us the likes button, subscribe as well. If you're on YouTube, please definitely subscribe to us. We have different types of shows that whatever you're watching, we have an after show for it. So you don't have to worry about those little pesky notifications or anything like that. If we're not going to bug you or anything, just please go ahead and just hit that subscribe. Keep on talking to us on the live chat, and we're grateful for you for blessing us to be the ESPN of TV.
Listen, all of the likes.
Hey.
I'm trying to get them all. So, ladies, like, I really just want to know, like, is anyone in the chat loving the show? What did they think about tonight's episode?
Ivan Soto's in the chat. He wasn't
Ivan, we love you so much.
We really do.
He's with us every week.
He wasn't a huge fan of the second half of the season, and I think that's just because he doesn't like that Cara and Miles are just friends, which I understand. This is the first time that I actually I have to disagree with that, because I actually kind of like that they're taking a break from everything.
Yeah.
Their relationship has been honestly so exhausting.
And draining.
So just to watch. Like, I just want to, like, shake Cara and just be like, you know what? Like, take time, find yourself. I think she really just feels like she doesn't deserve things. I think that's what it is.
Self-sabotage.
I think she, Miles is this amazing man. Not to say that Cara is not an amazing woman. I just genuinely think that she feels like she can't deserve the happiness, or that she doesn't want to experience something fully because she thinks that, it's all downhill from there once it's good. I think there's like this fear in the back of her mind that it's too good to be true. And we kind of see that in the way she acts. Like, I can't deal with a heartbreak a second time around. She just would rather play it safe than fully invest and go all in. And I think that is kind of a relatable feeling. And it's a reason a lot of people, have trouble being vulnerable because of whatever happened to them in their past, and they don't want to get into a closer relationship. It's just so frustrating that this happens so frequently, and we always have Miles being the one who's all in, and Cara just feels like she's half in it, half out. Like, she wants it, but then she feels like she can't have it, and I think that's frustrating. But I shouldn't be mad at Cara for that. I just feel like Cara needs to talk to someone and to do some soul searching.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, that really transitions us so well into what we want to talk about, finding love again, even if it looks different. I mean, there's all these different relationships in tonight's episode. Obviously, our favorite relationship to why we celebrated this episode is the marriage, right? This wedding, Miles' dad, Arthur, found love again in a very different way. Their vows, I mean, come on. Those vows were magic. But then there's also our friend requests, right? Like, the whole idea around being BFFs who then got married, who then now, in a strange way, are BFFs again. So what do you think about this whole idea of finding love again, even if it looks different?
I'm always here for a new experience. Every relationship is a new relationship. It's like, I mean, if I date some new guy, it's no other person that ever been Rochelle in this new guy. So, every relationship is different. So I'm always excited to see the new, it doesn't have to be normal. I'm okay with anything. So with the friend request with Sam and Julia, it's pretty dope to see that they are going to work things out since she is pregnant, know, and that's okay. They are still technically married. And even if they want to consider staying separate and having 2 different apartments and doing it, that's their business, as long as both of them are healthy and happy and there for that baby. I'm here for it.
Well, I'm going to let the fans in on like a little heated topic we were having off camera, right? Because for tonight's friend request, like they were still legally married, yet separated. And during the whole quest, as they always do, our team is in the right place at the right time. Joy and Rakesh kind of catch Sam with another woman. And I felt some type of way about it because I'm like, he's technically still married, although he's separated. And then, you know, Rochelle has some things to say. So, like, do we feel it's wrong to date while you're still married but separated? And was it wrong for her to still implant this embryo even though they were still married but separated? Because they're both like, where is the, like, what's the moral compass around both these scenarios? What did y'all think about that tonight?
Personally, I mean, I've never dated a married man or anything like that, so it's not like me trying to be biased or anything, and I have a lot of growing to do, so until, you know, I come into that situation, my perspective will change, but as today, they're married, but they were separated. Clearly, they live in different homes, but they still keep it cordial. They are able to be in the same environment without no tension, or they never gave us a scene of her giving him a look or him giving her a look. They seem like they was cool. They're separated. They're taking care of their business. So to me, you living your life. You have your different needs. You know, to me, I mean, technically you're not single, but I didn't see anything wrong with him dating, and I kind of figured he was. And as in with the situation with Sam, and Julia, and she's having that implanted in her for her to be pregnant while they're separated. I think that was just a little terrible for the fact that you don't know his status, which was him still dating, you know, and this is a whole new life. Like, you don't know who, like, it's the difference when you're married and you're in the same household and you know where your babe is, but when you guys are in different households, you don't know who this man is again. I always say, like, if you ain't talked to me in about 3 months, you don't know who I am today. You know, I've grown, I've had different epiphanies, you know, so it's just like he clearly wasn't ready for that, and I could see why he could lose trust from that. You just got pregnant. Like, I want to be there from the moment we both take the test and see you're pregnant. I want to be there to see you grow. Yeah, that's a whole, you know, different thing. So that was a lot, but what did you have to say about that?
I don't think there's necessarily hard and fast rules with this, because it's so easy to say, oh, you know, he is still married legally, so he shouldn't be dating, or you shouldn't be dating, or this or that. But what about when you're not married, but you have a baby mama, and you're dating someone else, but you're not married? Right. I mean, isn't that, a sense, like, more drama to have to deal with someone's
a lot of drama.
Kid?
I don't want no baby mama drama.
Girl. Versus someone who's just legally married on paper. But at the same time, if I had a daughter... If I had a daughter who was dealing with a married man who wasn't yet split from his wife, I would literally talk to my daughter and say, what are you doing? You need to value yourself to know that he might not be married on paper, but don't start something until it's officially cut off. That's if I had a daughter.
That's all I'm saying.
That's good.
If you reverse the roles, though, and the second that becomes a woman who's still married to a man, do any of you guys have a different opinion? Because I think the reason we think this way is because it's so easy to see it as if a man is still married legally, things get a little sticky and tricky. But if it was a woman who was still married legally, I don't think anyone would be saying, oh, wait for her to cut it off completely. Yeah. Because I feel like the woman is done, you know?
We all know that.
So I think there is a bit of a double standard here because of, like, gender and, like, assuming that it's so common for a man to want to have multiple options open, which isn't necessarily true, but we just see that as a trend in society, and we see, like, this common trope of the woman dating a married man who says, no, baby, like, I love you, and I'm getting a divorce, and then him going back for the back to the woman he separated from. You know?
Well, here's the thing that I think is so interesting. Like you said, it's not double cut either way, but even with Cara and Miles, to a certain degree, they're using the example of what's happening in other people's relationships to then kind of guide what will happen in theirs. It's like a weird way, like, depending on how this friend request story ends is kind of how we'll end. Like, the God account sent them as an example. And I'm like, that's also the problem, right? Like, every situation is different. So on one accord, it's easy for me to have my own feelings, which I'm entitled to. Amen. I do feel some type of way that, like, he was still married and is dating. Yes, and if the shoe's on the other foot, or it's my child, or it's my situation, I might or might not handle it the same, which is why no judgment. I can feel how I feel about it and extend grace and pray about it. I don't get to gossip about them or feel like that's the thing. We're entitled to our feelings. It's what you do with your feelings that really count. Like, as long as I'm not doing harm to people because I feel some type of way, I have to like then go in my prayer closet and ask the Lord, like, why am I so offended that he's dating while he's still married? You know? So it's like, what is that triggering in me? So I just felt like that whole friend suggestion was a trigger for Cara tonight because it was such a mirror to where her and Miles could be, where they could end up, because they started off as best friends. Yeah. And I mean, realistically speaking, they see this beautiful future together. That future's being compromised, and then her fear is we do get together and then we're driven apart. So I just think that we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't like use other people's situations
absolutely
as a guide to make decisions for our own.
They're different.
That's very true. And I also think, going back to the whole topic of marriage, I think some people believe in the sanctity of marriage and they see it as something that's very important and binding, whereas other people see it as an economic proposition or something that
piece of paper.
You do at a courthouse, because when you get married, it's a transaction. So some people don't have necessarily the same respect for marriage, and it doesn't mean as much to them. And the way I see it is, if you're not married, and even if you're just dating your boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're on a break, how disrespectful would it be to start dating? This is like the Ross Rachel situation in Friends. How disrespectful would it be to start dating when you're on a temporary break, when you've been with someone for so long and you're trying to work things?
Break though.
They have
paper signed up.
Speaking of disrespect, can we talk about how disrespectful the God account is? Because the God account got them again. I mean,
I'm like, what's happening?
This whole episode.
I don't want it to end. So
this whole episode was about the fact that we thought we would find out who was behind the God account, and we just knew it was Alfonse. And the God account got real disrespectful. Like, what did y'all think about the fact? Did y'all know that Alfonse really wasn't behind the God account?
Well, we talked about this last week, and we said, basically, like, we're on episode 12. We got a couple of more episodes to go. It's not about to happen today. Right. And it's probably not going to happen in 8 more episodes because we coming for season 3. Yeah. So, when, honestly, not to say I get disinterested when that topic comes up, but it's just like, I'm not even going to
frustrating.
I'm not even going to put my emotions into it. Yeah. I'm just here for the show, entertain me. So, that's all I got to say on that.
Should we care who's behind the God
account? No, I don't care.
I mean, it's God, right?
I mean, honestly, the way it's going.
Isn't it God? Or do you think it's someone?
We've had this conversation, and my opinion keeps changing.
It keeps changing, right?
As the show goes on.
I feel like it has to be someone, but who's going to know every single interaction and where someone's going to be at all times?
Yeah. All right. How do you disactivate somebody's earpods?
It's got to be a team in the Silicon Valley. It all goes back to that. And at the guy's new job, when he moves to the Silicon Valley, that's going to be who's behind the God account.
Well, I think this is the perfect time then to get into our predictions for next week.
Yes.
What about it? Should we do it?
I mean, we should.
Let's
what you
get
thinking
into
about?
it.
What you thinking about for our predictions?
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I genuinely think that, why mention the Silicon Valley when the Silicon Valley is a hub for technology, right?
That's true.
And there is this common theme of technology on God Friended Me. And everyone knows everyone. There's some sort of connection, like 30 degrees, however many degrees between people, where someone knows someone knows someone knows someone, and then you realize everything is interconnected, just the way life is. And how you know people through not a lot of connections. Like, the world is smaller than you think. And I think because we have a new character moving to the Silicon Valley, and because that character and his soon-to-be mother of his child is linked to Arthur Finer's wife, I do think that there's going to be someone at that company that he's working at that is connected to the God account, because it is a technological hub in the United States. That's what I think.
I think next week we're going to definitely deep dive more into Javicia, who plays Ali. Great things are going to be happening for her. I'm hoping, that they're going to be able to take care of what she needs to be taken care of. And you were speaking on, when we were watching the show, that she, deserves and should get like a bigger part. So hopefully, next week, we didn't see any previews for the following week, but I'm hoping that we can more deep dive into her. Because now her spotlight, I don't want it to be all sad because she's too incredible, So.
My prediction is that this news about Ali's diagnosis is going to shake up Arthur Finer's faith. because his faith has been really strong and rooted through his wife. And now he's found love again, and he's in this great space. But then when he finds out his daughter has cancer, it's going to shake up his world.
That's a good
prediction.
So
that's my prediction. But no more sad news. Let's get into the good news. You got some good news for us, Rochelle?
AfterBuzz.
Yes. All right, you guys. So, we always are here for your good news.
Yeah.
And today is more of a shout out. For our good news, we have today Jake and Papa featuring Taylor Green. They had their song on this episode called Twin. It's a new song. And if you know anything about Jake and Papa, they came from a group from brothers. So personally, I'm super proud of them.
They're on TV.
Yeah, I'm super proud. I've used to work with KJLH, and we've done a couple of interviews with them and stuff like that. And they're great people. So it's really awesome to see them, have, more opportunities and really have their stuff. So if you get a chance, definitely go ahead and stream, their new song. It was on this episode, season 2, episode 12, and their new song is called Twin. It's by Jake and Papa featuring Taylor Green. So go ahead and stream that and get them some likes. But that's all we got today for the good news.
Shout outs to Jake. And while we're here, let's get into our special segment, Godly News, where we discuss with you guys how God has spoken to us this week. So, ladies, how's God been speaking to you this week?
How you want to start it off? You go ahead. I just finished talking.
I guess God has spoken through me this week. I don't know. I think just thinking about my past and how things in your past really affect the way you are in your future, relationships, interactions with people. And if you have any area of your life that is unresolved, it's going to be unresolved in other aspects. It's going to show up in other aspects. So if you felt a certain way as a child and you never fixed that feeling, or you never understood it, or you ignored it, or you completely forgot that feeling ever existed, you're going to continue to act that way again and again and again. And I had this epiphany where, I just felt stagnant in my career again. And I had this feeling of, what am I doing here? And I don't like that certain parts of the industry are really superficial. And I was speaking to a coach about it, and they were saying, you're trying so hard to make something wrong or right when you have to realize that it is the way it is, and you can't make something wrong or right. You have to realize it is what it is and not necessarily pass judgment on it. Yeah. But realize you can't come from a place of judgment if you're trying to work within something. Wow. That's not how you create change.
Wow, that's good.
I thought that was
like
really
that.
wonderful. So
you can't change what you judge. Woo!
I like that. I like that.
What about you, Rochelle?
So for my God speak, 2019 was crazy. I had a lot of, I guess you can call them demons to fight. I felt like I was at my worst. But awesomely, I came through it, and I'm so excited for the person that was rebirthed, So for my God speak, on Twitter, I seen this tweet, and it said, God uses Goliath to get to David. To the throne, your giants aren't meant to defeat you. They are meant to promote you. And that was 2019 for me. It was so much things. A lot of people I lost, I went through depression, all of that, and I thought it was going to get me, but it made me such a better Rochelle 2.0. And I felt myself this week, every day I went to sleep 6 a.m. I would just be cleaning. I just had this one-on-one with myself. And I was just cleaning out, just preparing for 2020. And it was a lot of things that started to get on my head, problems, and just how you gonna get through this, and how you gonna do this, and da-da-da-da. And then I just got excited. Literally, last night I was talking to my roommate. I was I'm so excited. All these things that I'm so afraid of, that means that God is gonna do something incredible. And I'm instead of being using that fear, I kind of switched it to okay, if you're gonna put me through this, that means that something amazing is gonna happen. Right. So I am so grateful for the real Kim Cock for tweeting that, because that's literally my phase in life right now. So I want to bless that with you guys as well. If you feel something, whatever the issue may be, it is to promote you. Don't even trip. It's already done. He will provide all your needs. Life is lit. Shout out to God one time.
I love it. Well, guys, I love for you guys always tuning in with us every week. God is always speaking. I'm grateful that this week he spoke to us through the show. Next week he'll continue to speak with us. Make sure to stay tuned right here. You can follow me at all the things, your favorite Afro-Latina at Selly Hangout. And how can folks stay with y'all?
Yes, friends, you guys can always find me on Instagram at RoachBaby. That's RoachBaybe, and I'm your host, Rochelle.
Hey everyone, I'm Mina. You can find me at Mina Mix Magic on Instagram and Twitter, and it's award season, so I have some movie reviews coming up. So tune in to my stuff.
Sounds good, and we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.